ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another live stream Saturday, and I hope you guys have had a good start to the weekend. Tonight's live stream is going to be a little bit experimental because I mentioned on Tuesday that some people ask me about the live streams and what I do on the screens and everything, because I set it all up and click on lots of different buttons and all that kind of stuff. People wanted to know what I was looking at, and probably 3 or 4 years ago I took a picture of the screen that I look at, and back then it was just one screen, whereas now it's 2 screens. I'm going to be attempting tonight to show you guys what I'm doing and try to show you that, but it will be shown to you with a bit of a blur on it, because some of the screens that I look at, have people's PayPal information on and emails and all that kind of stuff when I'm addressing donations. So I have applied a little bit of a blur. And the thing about doing this is it does say on the software to use the screen capture and blurring effect, and actually lots of different effects, but I'm just going to use the blur for tonight, or attempt to. It said, use it knowing that it might cause a catastrophic failure. So I have been using it probably for about the last hour, and it has been fine. But having said that, at 49 minutes past 10, so that was just before the live stream, 11 minutes before the live stream, it then stopped working. So I then got it working again. So we will see, but we will... Maybe before I was going to get my patrons up on screen, but before we do that, I might jump into that and show you guys how it all works and what I click on in order to get the patrons on screen and all that kind of stuff. But something that I have to mention, unfortunately, at the beginning of this live stream is that in the comment section on YouTube, again, we're getting this Telegram scam thing. But now they've changed the scam to make it a little bit more channel relevant, saying, or at least imitating being me, which is what they always do, and it's always some dodgy Telegram username or Wings of Pegasus spelt differently and using a 1 instead of the I, all that kind of stuff. But they are saying to people, congratulations, you've won a guitar. Contact me on Telegram to organise sending and that kind of stuff. So I have received a few emails from people just checking that, first of all, it's not a scam, but it is a scam, and want to find out if they have indeed won a guitar. But I will say, as I've said in live streams before and actually designated videos before about this Telegram scam thing, that I don't contact anybody in the comment section other than just replying to a comment. I'm not going to give away anything in the comment section. I'm not going to ask people to come and talk to me on Telegram. I don't use Telegram, and any account that you see on Telegram that is Wings of Pegasus, because somebody told me that there's a username or an account over there that is called Wings of Pegasus. It's not me. I don't use Telegram. So just to get that out there, I know that people who have been watching for a long time have heard me talk about this scam many times, but because the channel's always growing, it means that, we might have a few thousand more people over the last, few weeks or a month that don't know about the scam. So yeah, just make sure you all know that I don't use Telegram, and I'm not giving away anything in the comment section. Anything that is going to be done like that, you will know. I'll make it very clear if something like that's going to happen. It's never going to happen in the comment section of a YouTube video. So anyway, thank you guys for joining me tonight. We have Elaine and Frank and Billy and Joni and Deborah, Cindy, Tammy, Dawn, Chantra of the North, Julesy, Bob, 123 Rockchild, Laura, Simon, Bella, Maria, Ginny, Laugh Out Loud Can. Hello, thank you for joining me, and this is hopefully something that is going to make a little bit more sense where I'm looking and what's going on and what I'm actually looking at when I'm looking there, even though I do tend to look across all the screens very quickly to make sure everything is going on correctly. So we're going to be jumping into this behind the scenes type thing, and I'm hoping that when I do the screen grab, I'm going to show you my screen now. So everything that I'm looking at, and it should show up on your screen and it'll be blurred, and you might be able to see this window moving here in the kind of middle of the screen on the left. And I'm going to get rid of that and put it on the other screen so we don't get one of those infinity windows. But if you can still hear me, then that's good. And you'll be able to see... Okay, let me take you through... But obviously, because it's blurred, you won't be able to see my arrow. But if I move it around really quickly, it gets a bit bigger. But on the left-hand side, we've got all of the things that I'm going to be clicking on while the live stream's going on. So there's a pink button here that's the free screen grab. So that's what I'm using at the moment so that you can see this. So it means that I've programmed that particular button to capture this screen, and then when I click on that button it shows you the whole screen. And it's exactly the same thing that I use for doing the riff of the week and anything that I want to show you on the screen, like Picture Corner as well. I grab the screen, I mean it's like a square, but obviously you can't see it because you can't see the outside of this screen, you can only see what's inside it, but anything inside it will then be shown on screen. So anyway, so all of these buttons on the left hand side, there's a green one that's got a red line on it, or kind of the top left of the screen, and that's the main camera. And this is an important part that I can just see that Giddy said no song for the night vote. So and this is something that I can do. So I'm now clicking on the bottom right, and I'm going to say start a poll, and I'm going to type in vote for tonight's cover video, hoping to spell it all correctly. And it was between Sweet Emotion and You Know My Name. So I don't think there are any spelling mistakes there. And then I click on Start Poll. And then now the poll has started at the top of the live chat room. So that's how that's all organised. And already Sweet Emotion is in the lead. But this is the thing, guys, if you can vote for that, that'd be, you know, whichever wins. If you haven't seen a live stream before, whichever wins will be watching my version of that particular cover at the end of the live stream. Maybe not at the end, because at the end of the live stream, we have a fill jam if we hit the likes goal. So if I get things up on screen, it'll obliterate what I'm going to be talking about. So just quickly, we've got the main camera at the moment live, so you can hear me. It has to be live in order for you to hear my voice. So the problem with that is that I'm now, the camera feed is now behind the screen grab. So if I get rid of that, I'm still live. You can still see me. Hello. And when I get the screen grab back, I'm still behind this so you can hear my voice. Why this is important is because if we now look to the right hand side of the screen, you might be able to see the levels. I'll try and shake my arrow so you can see over here. The levels of what my voice is hitting in terms of the mic is on the right hand side, and you'll see the green bar going up and down. So that's how I know that the microphone's working. But sometimes the microphone works, but it doesn't go across the internet, and then I have to figure out what's wrong. But here we've got all of the streaming details underneath this, 3.5 megabits per second, and then the adjusted output, the stream status, encoder status, upload speed, average upload speed, all that kind of stuff. So that gives me the information here on the right hand side. And the reason I mentioned about me being behind this screen grab is because if I move this thing up and down now, you'll be able to see the thing, hopefully on the right hand side. If you're looking at the grey box, you'll see me going through the layers. So all of these different things that you can see that I'm going from the bottom, and actually going from the top to the bottom, I'm going through all the layers of the stuff that's currently organised on the live stream. So the layers on this right hand side are really important, because if I were in front of the screen grab at the moment, you wouldn't see the screen grab. It's got to be in front of me, but I've still got to be effectively on screen for you to be able to hear my voice. So anyway, I put this back to where it was, which was there, looking at the screen grab feed there, and it's got a little red box saying that it is live at the moment. Now, I've just realised that this is just probably massively too technical, but anyway, on the left hand side, the button that I click in order to get the screen grab, when I click it, I then get a red box on the right hand side in the grey box that's linked to this pink box, so that I know that once I've clicked on that, it's got a red line at the bottom of this box as well. So once I click that, it then goes live on the right hand side, and I've programmed it so that it's obviously linked. So I can just click on a button rather than having to find it in the layers list. Right, underneath that, we've now got you can see hopefully here we've got a few donations in there, so thank you guys for those, but we'll address those in a second. We've got the YouTube studio and the comments at the bottom right. So this is where I look when I can see either Wings of Pegasus being tagged or looking in there at the votes. And as you can see, I only get to see which song is in the lead, which is Sweet Emotion at the moment. So that's why I have to keep trying to remember what the other song is. So we also have the amount of viewers looking, which is 237 at the moment. So by the way, hit that thumbs up as you come through the door. That would be much appreciated. But next to that, we then have the likes. And the likes, I've put another screen grab box around the likeometer. I say the likeometer is something that's the box, that's what I call it. It's a screen grab, but you know, when we get it on screen, it's like a likeometer. So let me now click on the top left, the likes goal, and that will make this appear at the top right. Tonight's goal for Phil Jam number 58, 370. And when we want to see where we are at, we're at 224 likes so far, and that number is being directly screen grabbed from this part of the screen at the bottom right. So again, I've linked this together. So if I move the screen grab, you can see that the number moves because it's within the box. And again, I've programmed it so that the box is linked to the software, so that I click on a button on the software, which then makes the layer go live and it appears on screen. And obviously, well, I say obviously, it might not be obvious, but I've organized it so that the size of the likes fits inside this little red box that I made. But anyway, so that makes that all happen. So at the top left, you might actually be able to see, even though it's blurred, this big patrons at the top left. I click on that, and I've programmed that so that the time appears, and then the It's Live Stream time thing appears as well. And I've just noticed, and this is the kind of thing that I do while I'm talking when I'm live, I've just noticed that the layer for the message at the bottom left is gonna have something about the 10% off, which isn't 10% off anymore. So what I've got to do is go to the left hand side, remove, and you might be able to see me doing this on the right hand side as we're live. I then delete that, take that out, and then that should update to the next time, so that after please follow them, instead of going to the 10%, it's now gone to get involved, have fun. So yeah, that's something that, again, this is happening live, so you I say you adjust these things as you go, but these are the things that I try to do while talking about whatever's been going on. So that's the likes goal that we can now see. We're aiming for 370, so 245 we are at. If you can hit that thumbs up, would be much appreciated. So yeah, I'm always clicking things like over here, we've got the website link, for example. Click on that, that will show up. The Patreon link, click on that, it will show up. And again, I say it'll show up. You've got to program this all manually. But I've been live streaming for a long time, so that's what I've been doing for so many years. And then on here we've got most of these red ones here are cover videos that I have to I usually try and arrange them so that I know where they are, but it's just absolutely all over the place, to be honest. We've got the subscriber pop-up thing, we've got this test card that I can click on if everything goes wrong, and picture corner as well is in here. If I click on this, good example here. I've clicked on picture corner, but in the layering system, the picture corner is behind the screen grab. So it means that we don't see picture corner. So it means I can't have the screen grab and picture corner going at the same time. So that's a good example of how the layers work. Right, so anyway, moving around the screen, we now have at the bottom here, this big white section here is just something that I sometimes write things on to remember to talk about. At the moment, it just says scam. Because I wanted to remember to remind everybody about that Telegram scam. And yeah, so sometimes I just have this pad here. Sometimes it has things written on it that I have to remember to mention, and maybe if I've forgotten somebody's donation from a previous live stream, which doesn't normally happen, but if I do, then I'll write it on here to make sure that I mention it at the beginning. Underneath that, so directly underneath, we are now in a Facebook window, and this is where I check the messages from Laura letting me know about Picture Corner if there's any pictures, and then seeing the pictures. Once I get the pictures from here, I save them, and now at the bottom left of the screen, which is over here, make my arrow go big so you can see it. It's actually underneath the purple "It's live stream time." But behind that, that's where I click to open where I've saved the pictures for Picture Corner, and then I do another screen grab. It's not organized now, but this is something that, again, I do at the time, that I then get a screen grab to go around the pictures so that I can show them on the screen to you guys. Right, so I'm now going to bring this back, and maybe you can see the screen that I brought back. When I say that what I'm looking at is really small on the screen that I'm looking at is this one over here. I'll make the arrow big again. So yeah, you can see this. It's a tiny little screen. So trying to read, sometimes what the fill jam is, which number it is, and the likes are a bit bigger, so I can just about see that, but I also look over to the right hand side to catch that. So now we're going to get a screen grab of the other screen with stuff going on, if it works. So we could have a catastrophic failure. And are we still live? It looks like we're still going. So now we're looking at the screen that I have on my left-hand side. And this has, this top bit here is PayPal donations. So this is just like a PayPal folder that I work my way through. And to the left of that, we have Patreon. And tonight, I'm actually quite organized because I knew I was going to do this. So I made sure that I had Joe's messages up on screen. And these are the fill jams. So here we are up to number 58. So, or is it 59? I think it's 59, actually, if I remember correctly. So, again, good example here. What I'm going to do is go over to the layer that I need for the top right hand of the screen, and I change it from number 58 to number 59. And not that you can see that now because we're looking at my other screen, but that's what I just did on the first screen that we looked at. So it now says at the top right of your screens, Fill Jam number 59. So this is, the list that once we get to the Fill Jam, if we hit the likes goal, then we're going to be into, Fill Jam number 59, which is on the left-hand side there. So we've got PayPal to the right, and underneath that we've got Loopback Audio. So this is showing me all of my audio feeds, and this is something that I need to keep organized for the Fill Jam, for example, because if I have a little scroll down here, you'll see that I'm capturing audio from Safari, which is the browser that I use for that. And all of these different wires you can see going on here. This is actually something that Michael Palmisano introduced me to. Rather than having wires going all over your studio and going all over the place, you can get a lot of your wiring done within the computer. So you can see here the Scarlett 18i8 USB interface that I've got. We've got the left channel that's being split actually into two, going into left and right. So you're hearing stereo from a mono feed. So, that's something that goes on, but I don't have to adjust that pretty much. That only gets adjusted when there's a problem with it. So we have levels going on there. That all seems fine. And if there's a problem with the Fill Jam, then this is where I try and edit the audio to make sure that then the output's quieter from the YouTube video. And then I've got my interface here, which is the mic from my guitar. But as you can see, there's quite a lot of connections and things going on, but it's all within the computer. So I'd much rather do that than have it going all over the floor and everything, even though there's still a hell of a lot of leads going across the floor, but I manage a lot of it like that. So anyway, let's now bring it back to me, because I've been behind the screen the whole time, and you can see now that things are appearing on screen as they normally do. Now, when you see something appear, for example, the donations tab, you'll know that I've clicked on the donations tab button at the top left of the screen. And as I always say, you don't have to donate. Just watching is fantastic. Getting involved, maybe hitting the thumbs up, introducing yourself. So, yes, we do have some people that can't resist donating. So thank you guys for that. And I think it's important that if you do donate, that you know between 45 and 60% goes to YouTube through the super chat window, and between 3 and 5% goes to PayPal if you use the PayPal link in the description below. So there you go. Now, I think pretty much we have on screen what we normally have on screen, and you've hopefully got a bit of an idea of, you know, how things are going and why, you know, I'm pretty much always with my hand off to the right here because I'm using my mouse to click on lots of things. Generally, when everything runs properly and there's no sound problems and, you know, it's all fine, I don't have to do too much other than just keeping organized and making sure that I know where I'm going to click for whichever cover video, for example, wins out, which, by the way, Sweet Emotion is still in the lead. And I can see that Simon says, not enough windows and programs open. Amateur, laugh out loud. So yeah, I think it's just something that you get used to. Just obviously it's just multitasking, I guess. It's like playing guitar and maybe singing. You get used to talking and clicking on things and organising things that you know you've forgotten to do. And you know that later on in the live stream, it's going to be obvious that you've totally forgotten to do something. And, you know, it could be the case that we go to this screen because I've just forgotten to do it. So anyway, I mean, there you go. That's me clicking on the button that I've associated with that picture to show it on screen so that it then shows on screen. So, I mean, this is the kind of thing that in a TV studio, all of this stuff is done automatically by somebody sitting at the desk. So they'd be sitting at a desk and have all of these things on screen that they are then going to be clicking on. So all I do is just, you know, present and talk and say, right, let's jump into this song, see you later. And then the person would click the button and then it would go into whatever video I wanted it to go into. And then for Picture Corner, somebody would automatically do that. So this is how TV companies and TV stations work. They have lots of people dealing with the sound. For example, somebody's watching that particular part of a live stream or a live program. Probably, if you think about TV, it's not going to be like a stream, but it's effectively the same thing. But you've got in there kind of TV studio, you've got the people doing the cameras as well. They don't just have a fixed camera like this. They can change to different angles, which I could do. If I wanted to put another camera over to the left, I could flick between them. But again, I'd have to click a button in order to do that. So it's just an extra bit of complicated stuff that I don't need. So yeah, I mean, it's great because doing this myself, it gives me an appreciation of what they do in in TV. And just saying that, it makes me think that sometimes, because I know that in a TV studio, it's just one person's job, or sometimes you've got a few people to do just one thing. And when they mess it up, I think, how can you mess this up? Yeah, when you're watching TV and they've gone to the wrong video, or the sound doesn't play, or they've given you the wrong live feed, or they've queued up the wrong picture or the wrong video. They do it on the news all the time. So I think I could literally present the news and click all the buttons at the same time. So yeah, I don't know. I think it's just people not really concentrating, and more importantly, not watching a live feed. I think that if you're doing something on TV, you've got to watch, like I have got that, at least a feed, a small feed of what I'm doing, so that if it all went wrong on my software, then I'd be able to see that it's gone wrong. Whereas, I mean, if YouTube goes wrong and the live stream feed stops and it stops loading, I can't do anything about that because that's YouTube. All I can make sure is that my software is streaming to YouTube and that it doesn't start loading, or YouTube doesn't have a problem, which sometimes it does. But anyway, let's get into the donations for tonight, because thank you guys for these. Don't have to donate, of course, but they are much appreciated. Paul donated $2 and says, please spike those likes. All y'all rock. So thank you for that, Paul. Orlando donated $2 and said, I will watch with the catch-up crew. Rock. So thank you for that, Orlando. And I'm reading these, by the way, from the bottom right of the screen. You know, kind of where the comments are. The super chat window is next to that. So I can see that Val has donated £10 as well. So thank you for that, Val. Now looking over onto my other screen. So we're looking over on PayPal. And it takes a little bit of time to load from the inbox, but we are there. Dawn has donated £10, so thank you for that, Dawn. And that was at 1 minute past 1 this morning, very early in the morning. And that is a straight up donation. So I'll have a quick scroll down to make sure that is the case. But thank you for that. Kevin has donated £1 as well. So thank you for that, Kevin. And the message is, happy 76th birthday to Buck Dharma. Spike the likes. So thank you for that donation, Kevin. And yes, it was Buck's birthday earlier in the month, the 12th to be exact. But yes, happy birthday to Buck. And as you guys will know, Buck is a friend of the channel. He's been on a few times. And yeah, I mean, this is the thing about Buck and Blue Oyster Cult. They're just touring all the time. I know that Buck's had a little bit of a break recently. When I say break, it's like just a few weeks and then they'll get out on tour again. So yeah, a big happy birthday to Buck. Thank you for that, Kevin. And Tammy has donated £10 as well. Thank you for that, Tammy. And the message is, hi Phil, what's the most profound emotional experience you've ever had while creating or performing music? You rock. So thank you for that, Tammy. And I think, sadly, the thing that I remember the most are the events from, the real life stories and gigs that don't go well, because generally I find that those emotions you remember more than the gigs that did go really well. It's never really a case of when you're trying to, chase a dream or do music full time. It's not something that's just sunshine and rainbows the whole time. And, it's such a great journey and everything's amazing. I mean, I'm sure that some people get a lot of luck and they just fall into doing what they want to do, and somebody spots them, and then they're given the opportunity to do something and it all goes really well, and then they're successful and it's great. But yeah, that is not, I'd say that's not the standard story. I mean, pretty much in anything. Music's so competitive that it's very difficult anyway. But with anything that you want to do, if you've got a dream of achieving something, it's more often than not an easy road to success. You have to, go through it quite a lot. And normally it's a case of keeping the faith and keep on doing it. This is why I've said before, when I see somebody who might be 18 or 20 years of age and they say, oh, I've been working my whole life for this, and they're only like 18 or 20. You think, hang on, you've only been out of school for 2 years. So yeah, when you're on this journey, you've got to accept that it's going to take a long time, potentially. Like I said, some people do get a break and get lucky, but then, as I believe myself, if you keep on working at it, then if you work hard enough, you won't need a break. You won't need somebody else to help you. Eventually, you can kind of do it all yourself. So yeah, that's certainly been something that I remember from the past. Yeah, gigs that are just absolutely ridiculous. And yeah, I mean, the one that I got closest to when I was, how old was I? Maybe 30 or 31. So that was the fireworks gig. That was I 33? I can't remember. But anyway, yeah, I mean, it's so long ago now, but that was one of those gigs that obviously I've been working at it since the age of 19. So it means that 14 years of trying to do it, you then have a gig that is absolutely ridiculously awful and just an absolute joke. And that was the point at which I thought, this is ridiculous. And yeah, it made me feel like giving up, even though I knew that I'd never give up on trying to, get somewhere or do music full time. So yeah, that was kind of the lowest point that probably, most emotionally affected me, because it's everything that I want to do. You then rely on other people to put on a gig and they tell you lots of stuff's going to happen, and then it doesn't happen, and your half an hour set then turns to a 3-minute set, and your set with a band live turns into a 3-minute set with a backing track. and you can't have anybody else on stage with you because the stage is actually just a van that unfolds, so it isn't actually really a stage. So yeah, all of these things that just rolled into that one gig that was just an absolutely massively depressing experience. So that's the thing that really sticks with me. But then now I have the positive experience of knowing that I was right to continue, and I don't think at any point I would give up anyway. But yeah, so having said that, I'd say that probably when I was 35 or 36, things started to work out a little bit better. So that would be from 17 years? Yeah, maybe 17 or 18 years of just, plugging away, doing it every day, and, teaching guitar, then doing what I can outside of my hours teaching guitar, and funding what I was, doing gig-wise, rehearsals, funding that all with teaching guitar. So this is why when somebody says, oh, I've been working my whole life for this, and they're 18, it means that for me, it's taken 18 years. So it meant that they would have had to have been born instantly, maybe then record a demo or something in the hospital, package it up, take it over to a record label and say, look, will you, listen to this? And say, hang on, but you're only, an hour or two old. So, yeah, but everybody's journey is unique. And this is the thing, it's so subjective because there are some people that, have a very short journey, but to them it seems like, oh, I've been working for this my whole life. And when you're younger, maybe 3 years might seem like a really long time. But then, when you start to get a bit older, you then realise that 3 years is nothing, but 18 years is quite a long time when you're kind of doing it every day and putting everything that you have into it. So anyway, thank you for that, Tammy. And there's been another donation, and this has come through from Debbie for £10. So thank you for that, Debbie. And the message is, hi Phil, I loved the Wicked game analysis videos this week. There was some beautiful guitar work on the Tenacious D one. You are awesome. Love you, Debbie. So thank you for that. And a bit of a contrast in those two videos. And I know that the Tenacious D was quite a short video just because they did just a verse and a chorus really, and the intro from that song. But it's enjoyable to watch a bit of Tenacious D and jumping into that just because it's great, and the musical ability on show. Somebody else commented, because I said about the, bending of especially an acoustic guitar neck, pushing against the body of the guitar and pushing from the other side on the neck in order to decrease the tension on the strings and therefore get a dip in pitch. And somebody commented, because I said it's not the kind of thing that you do when you're a beginner to even do that technique. And then somebody said, oh, I was under the impression that it was something that beginners or maybe intermediate players do. Well, in my opinion, it's something that I've never taught anybody to do on one of their first lessons playing guitar. It's like, right, that's a D chord, that's an A chord, that's a G. And if you want to decrease the tension on the strings, push on the headstock, push on the body, and it's not a natural progression for a beginner. So but maybe somebody did learn to do that straight away, or felt the need that they had to do that when they were just starting out learning to play the guitar. But for me, it's a bit of a risky thing as well, because if you really go for it, you could damage the neck of the guitar, because they weren't designed to do that. If they were designed to do it, then it might be a little bit more pliable in order to do that. That's why with electric guitars, you've got whammy bars. They are designed to do that. Whereas, a solid acoustic guitar, was a little bit risky. So even when I see somebody doing it, I'm a little bit apprehensive. Because I think, oh, don't do it too hard. I mean, it would take a hell of a lot of force, obviously, to snap a guitar neck. But especially Kyle in that particular video, he's a big guy. So, I'm sure that he could actually do it. Anyway, thank you for that, Debbie. And Lynn has donated £57.76. So thank you for that, Lynn. And the message is, Phil, you have the tidiest desktop I've ever seen. So thank you for that. And particularly with the setup of the live streams, it has to be organized because I put all of the things in the same place. So if there's an issue, if there's a sound issue, I know that I can immediately go to the top right and see about the live streaming feed to see if we have got the audio coming through there. If I can see that, and I then look at the bottom left, make sure that that audio is coming through the interface, which, yeah, is fine. So I know exactly where to look for any problem. Like if I just put them randomly, if there was a problem with the sound or the visual or something like that, then I'd be looking at the screen trying to find, oh, where did I put this? Where did I put the sound, for example? The Loopback, by the way, is the program that does all of the wiring, or at least you can organize the wires within your computer to say, for example, take the output of a browser and get that to come out of your interface, like channels 1 and 2, as I have everything coming out over channels 1 or 2. So, or 1 and 2 to get it stereo. This is another thing that if you have a microphone, a condenser mic, it's going to be in mono. So it means that you'd only be in the left channel. So this is why with that software I can duplicate the left channel into the right channel. Actually, I take the left channel and I split apart the pins and put one into the left channel, one into the right channel, so that it's a stereo sound in the end. So yeah, that's really important as well for songs and videos that I play, because if you were listening to one of the songs, you'd only hear anything coming through the left channel. So there might be a guitar solo that's more in the right channel and you just wouldn't hear it. So that is the problem sometimes with videos when you only get a mono feed, that you do miss out on some of the playing or even backing vocals that have been panned hard right in a mono recording. In a mono recording, everything's going to be coming through fine, so the harmonies won't be affected. But sometimes you have a mono recording that's been remastered into stereo and they put it in the right-hand channel, and people that are listening through a mono system then don't get to actually hear what's going on in that right channel. But anyway, yeah, I keep it organized so that I know where everything is. So thank you for that, Lynn. And Laura has donated £10 as well. Thank you for that, Laura. And the message is, thank goodness you're not colorblind. Your screens would be a nightmare. So thank you for that, Laura. And I think with it, even if you were colorblind, I could have different, I don't know, gradients of black. So like going from black to grey, and then maybe from, yeah, grey to white. There'd be a way that I could maybe organise it. But yeah, the colours, again, is just something that I've given to the squares so that I know which, sadly, you don't get a lot of choice of colours. That's why I have lots of red on there and, you know, the purple ones. It's just to separate them up a little bit. So, yeah, it would be good if you had a different colour for every different kind of thing, so that rather than having to read it all the time, I could just click on it knowing that, for example, that color means it's going to be that thing that shows up on screen. But yeah, limited amount of colors, but you know, it's clear enough for me to be able to hopefully click on the right thing at the right time. Sometimes I miss and click on the wrong box, but I just have to concentrate. But thank you for that, Laura. And Karen has donated £3.85. Thank you for that. The message is, hi Phil, thanks for an amazing behind the scenes look on you do the live streams. Chipper has been watching from my shoulder with interest. He's been saying, what you doing, and other things. Thanks for all you do. Cheers, Karen. And of course, Chipper. So thank you for that. And yes, hello to Chipper, of course, who's an avid watcher of the channel. In a way, I'm sure that he flies around a little bit, gets a bit of exercise during the live streams as well. But thank you for that, Karen. And Ghislaine has donated £11.18. So thank you for that. And the message is, this is for the multi-talented Philip Henley to try to help him continue his mission on Earth. Much love, Phil, aka Wings of Pegasus. So thank you for that, Ghislaine. And yes, I don't know what my mission is on Earth, but I'm sure that we're all on the same mission. Whatever we're doing, it's all about pushing forward. And as I always say, just trying to be good humans. That's all I focus on. That's my life mission, is to attempt to be a good human and treat others as I would wish to be treated myself. That's pretty much how I approach things. That's why, yeah, when you look at the world that we live in, it pretty much falls quite a long way below that. So, yeah, it's all a bit depressing. But, yeah, that's I think just a simple mission for me. Just keep it simple, be nice, be good, and then everything else would take care of itself. But yeah, we don't live in that world at the moment, unfortunately, but maybe in a few thousand years we'll be able to figure it out. I mean, for everybody to be able to figure it out, there are some people who have figured it out. Anyway, we will move on. Janice has donated £23.10, so thank you for that, Janice. And the message is, thanks for the behind the scenes look. Very interesting. I could never pull it off. So thank you for that, Janice. And I think it's just practice. Just the more you do something, the more you get used to it. And yeah, it's like I said, playing guitar and singing at the same time. To begin with, it's quite difficult, but then you start getting the hang of it. And I mean, even just playing guitar, it's difficult to begin with, but then more movements become subconscious. So it's the same kind of thing with doing this, that the clicking and the moving and making sure everything's going right becomes a subconscious thing, so that you can talk and think. You can talk and think at the same time, sometimes not thinking about what you're talking about, which is sometimes dangerous. So anyway, yeah, thank you for that. And Janice has donated £23 and £23.10 again, and says, this question from an old live stream: do you still have a hole between your front teeth, and do you still have your wisdom teeth? So thank you for that. And the hole that I had between, I mean, I say a hole, you won't be able to notice it, but when I first had my teeth cleaned, I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, they started kind of cleaning quite aggressively, and they put something between my front teeth that I think wore away a bit of the tooth, so I had like a perfect circle. So it looked a bit weird, it looked a bit unnatural to have a perfect circle between the top of your front teeth, or my front teeth, which I'd never had before. But I mean, thankfully, I think what might have happened is, like, if I'm brushing my teeth, and then after I've stopped brushing my teeth, you can just about see a tiny gap there. But I think what's happened is the enamel that must have been worn away between my front two teeth to make it a perfect circle, I think the enamel has now grown back. If that's even a thing. I think that is a thing, that your enamel can come back. So I think they took off that. So yeah, before it looked a bit weird, but now it just looks like a bit more of a normal gap. It's more of a kind of triangle shape rather than a perfect circle. So it's just that circle that just looked really weird. And I did get a message from the dentist a couple of months ago saying, oh, it's due, it's time, or you're due to come in for your 6-month checkup or whatever. And I haven't booked in again, just because of the fact that last time I came out, I then had a perfect circle between my front two teeth, and it was just ridiculous. So yeah, I'm sure I'm going to have to go back, but I do clean my teeth quite a lot. And yeah, the only problems that I do have are, the wisdom teeth, which is something that I've still got. And I get an occasional ache from one at the back here, which I know it's just because it's coming through at a weird angle and it's pushing on another tooth. And they did say at the dentist that it might get to the point where they have to remove the wisdom tooth because it's causing problems in the tooth that it's pushing into. It's effectively damaging it, so that, it's taking away the protection. I guess it's taking away the enamel of that tooth, so that if any bacteria and stuff get in there, then that tooth will start to unfortunately get damaged. And there's nothing that I can do about it. Even the dentist said that they can't get in the gap. Even with all of the instruments that they've got, they can't get in the gap that's being caused by the angle that the wisdom tooth is coming through at. So they said they'll keep an eye on it. If the wisdom tooth keeps on coming through, then they'll have to probably take it out. But at the moment, my wisdom teeth are all still in there. Yeah, I was going to say as problematic as they are, but it's not too bad. Fingers crossed, they'll stop coming through and I can just keep on brushing my teeth. So anyway, thank you for that, Janice. And again, looking at the screens, I think we're still fine. Oh, I can see that Alison said maybe you should go to a different dentist. So typically, the dentist that I went to, that was her last she's retired in 2 weeks. So she made sure that she went out with a bang. So yeah, that was a bit unlucky on my part. That had I booked in a few weeks later, I wouldn't have had that particular dentist. So there we go. She isn't actually at the place anymore, so it'll be somebody else that I can book in with. So anyway, let me see. Robin has donated $20 in the super chat window, so thank you for that, Robin. And it has a big number 1 next to that donation, so we know that that's Robin's first donation in the super chat window. Thank you for that, Robin. The message is love your insight and obvious talent. Cheers. So thank you for that, Robin, for the kind words, but also just for watching the videos on YouTube, interacting. And that goes for all you guys in the live chat room. If you could hit that thumbs up, that would be great, because we're aiming for 370. We're at 340. So we're looking for 30 more people to hit the thumbs up to have a Phil Jam a little bit later on. And I did see, 123 Rockchild says, does the UK pay for your dental bills? So no, dental bills are paid for by myself or by people. The NHS is the National Health Service, and that pays for going to hospital, treatment, all that kind of stuff. There are sometimes problems that people have that then get referred to the dentist from the NHS. So if it's a really bad problem that they need to have something sorted, then yeah, the NHS sorts out all that kind of stuff. But for normal dentistry, it's all paid for by each of us individually. But it's not that bad. I mean, I say that, I don't know how much fillings and all that kind of stuff costs, and maybe I'll find out if I have to have my wisdom tooth out, this one that's a bit dodgy, or any more taken out. I mean, I'm hoping that it's just going to be that one that causes a problem. I say that, I would hope that it didn't cause a problem, but I hope that it's the only one that will cause a problem. Yeah, I don't know how much it all costs to have all that stuff, because I've only ever gone in there and they've just done a clean, which is, I don't know, about £60, something like that, which is $100, something like that, maybe every 6 months. But it's not every 6 months for me, because I quite like to just have my teeth as they are and try to limit the damage that is done by the dentist. This just reminded me of when I took my car to be serviced, and my car was great for a year, didn't have a problem, and it's an electric car. So I took it in to the garage for them to be able to do what they do, and then when it came back, it had lots of problems with it. So that's why this year, when they said, it's time for you to have your service for your car, I said, no, I'm going to leave it until I have to have it done, because you have to have it done, by law, I think after 3 years. So yeah, I'm going to wait until next year, because it's still working fine. I managed to resolve the issues that they messed up with it. And yeah, so again, it's always the case that you go into something like, whether it be a dentist or getting your car, and everything is fine. My teeth were fine. My car was fine. You go in, you come out, you've now got a hole in your teeth and your car doesn't work. So, yeah. I mean, this is something that I haven't yet looked into, doing my own dentistry or doing my own car services. I haven't learned how to do that. I haven't quite got that far. But yeah, it's a bit annoying when that kind of thing happens. Right. Beth has donated $2 as well. So thanks for that, Beth. And the message is sweet emotion, don't fret, laugh out loud. So thank you for that. And that was Beth's first donation in the super chat window as well. So yes, it is much appreciated. As I say, you don't have to donate, but it really does make a difference. Ro, I can see, says, what kind of car? So I have, I think it's called either an E-Corsa or a Corsa E, which is a Vauxhall. And like throughout my life, I mean, my mum has always had pretty much, well, I say always had, the first car that I drove, which was my mum's car, was a Mini Metro. And I can't remember who made that. It might have been Rover. But, I mean, that on the side of it is actually called a Mystère. So, and I was, in my late teens driving that. And, you know, it's a proper old school car. You know, it's obviously manual transmission, had a really long stick, a gear stick, and I don't think it had any headrests. It just, you know, the chairs kind of stopped halfway down your shoulder blades. So, yeah, it's just... I mean, it's great. It worked. It got me to college and back. Before then, I had to get a bus to college, so then I could drive, which is great. Obviously, wasn't particularly fast, but just about made the journey. Wasn't good at going up hills either. You'd have to put it in first gear and just hope for the best, and maybe put on some, you know, headphones or something, or ear protectors because of the noise of the revs trying to get up the hill. Or any hill, really. But, yeah, that was the first car, which lasted for quite a long time. And then my mum got a Vauxhall Corsa. So, yeah, and the Vauxhall Corsa, and then she got another Vauxhall Corsa. And because Vauxhall Corsas is just something that I've known throughout my life, and for my mum, they're very reliable. When I then had the chance to... save up enough money to get a car, I went for a Vauxhall Corsa, but the electric one, because I thought, well, I don't drive a lot. You know, it's not as if I'm doing loads of journeys and have to go to and from work every day a long way or any distance at all. So, yeah, I decided to go for an electric car because then it meant that I was obviously saving on petrol because the petrol prices... I don't know whether they've come down a little bit, but when I got my electric car, it was crazy. I think they're still crazy, or gas prices, as you call them, in the USA. But yeah, just being able to charge my car for an hour or two, just to do the journeys that I need, is a lot better for me, kind of from a money perspective as well. It means that I'm saving a lot of money in the long run. So yeah, that's the car that I have. I mean, the only problem is that, yeah, if I wanted to drive a really long way, I'd have to find a charging station somewhere. And yeah, it doesn't really have the infrastructure for it. I know that some people have bought an electric guitar. I always say electric guitar rather than an electric car because they're so similar. And I'm so used to saying electric guitar. Anyway, when I got an electric car, I knew that I wasn't going to be driving a long way. But some people get an electric car and they have to cover a lot of distance. So they now rely on the government and have to find these places to plug in. Whereas, like I said, the infrastructure for it doesn't exist yet. So, yeah, I know that some people go, oh, electric guitar. Oh, electric cars are rubbish because they don't go very far. Mine goes for about 200 miles, maybe 230 miles if you do a full charge, if you drive really carefully and you don't turn on the heaters or anything, because as soon as you turn on the heaters, that's where the battery just goes. So yeah, that's why if I'm ever going to do a journey, even a short one, I sometimes overcharge it because it's not always hot here in the UK. It just gets very cold, so I need to have that going. So anyway, there you go. That's the... That's the electric cars and guitars all sorted out. Right, let's jump into tonight's cover video because it looks like we're going to be taking a look at Sweet Emotion, and we are looking for 14 more people to hit the thumbs up to have a Phil Jam tonight. And I'm just looking at the screens, making sure that everything's still working because it seems like we might have dodged the bullet with that catastrophic failure that is predicted by my software that can happen with that screen capture stuff. And another thing, while this video is playing, I'm going to remember to set up the screen capture for the picture corner because we do have a couple of pictures we're going to be taking a look at. So let's end the poll, and it is Sweet Emotion that has 58% of the vote for tonight. So thank you guys for voting for those. And we'll jump into this. It is midnight here in the UK, pretty much 40 seconds to midnight. So if you can hit that thumbs up, that would be great. Looking for 9 more people to have the Phil Jam. Maybe we'll make it during this video. We will see. But anyway, this is myself and Chris Law doing our version of Sweet Emotion. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you after. Rock!
1, 2, 3, 4.
And there we have it. That was Chris and I performing our version of Sweet Emotion by Aerosmith, of course. So we are going to be jumping into Picture Corner, just a couple of pictures to take a look at tonight. And we have, by the way, just hit the likes goal. So thank you guys for hitting that thumbs up. If you're watching this in the future on catch up, you can keep on hitting that thumbs up. It really does help this channel to get out there and to grow, as well as these live streams to get pushed out there a little bit more as well. And then we can get a few more people getting involved. If you want to get involved over on Facebook with the supporters group, then you can do. That's the Wings of Pegasus supporters group. Surprisingly, over on Facebook, you can type that in, join in with that group, and that's where these lovely people in the live chat room hang out between live streams. So yeah, head over there if you are a Facebook user. But let's jump into Picture Corner, see what's going on in there tonight. And like I said, if you can remember all the screens that I was looking at earlier, I have set this up. So now the screen capture that you would have seen before, I don't know whether this is going to appear in the middle of the screen. Let's see. No, it didn't. So, I mean, I could just leave it like that and tell you guys, okay, right, this is a picture that's been sent in by Debbie, but I think I'm going to have to maybe reorganize it a little bit. And, is it going to be like this? Now, this is going to be, now that shouldn't have actually been shown at that size. So maybe it's just the software going a bit wrong. Okay, let me see what this is actually doing. Okay, so moving it around doesn't work, and okay, that's now gone to hang on, that's okay. Okay, so obviously doing the screen capture like I did earlier in the live stream, it means that it throws everything off and it then can't reset itself. So let me get that there. And now it's made it really big again. I don't know. Let me try and move this across here. We might be able to do it by grabbing the corners and making it really wide. This is getting better. It's getting better. A little bit more. We're almost there. That'll have to do. So there we go. Debbie, thank you for sending in this particular picture. And again, guys, if you want to model any merchandise, just head over to the Wings of Pegasus supporters group over on Facebook. But this has been sent in by Debbie, and there's a message with this. And the message is, here's Debbie keeping warm while selling goodies at a craft fair in her Wings of Pegasus hoodie. So thank you for that. And just one more for tonight. Here we have Vince. And let me grab the message. Vince. Okay, Vince playing his bass guitar in a Wings of Pegasus shirt. He's playing a solo on Johnny Got a Boom Boom. So thank you for that, Vince, for sending that one in, and Debbie, and of course Laura for linking me to these pictures in the first place. So there we have it. I suppose it's good that it's still working, that the software's still working, because I don't know actually. Oh, it's still. I'm not even gonna take the blur off, because I think we're lucky to even see a blurred picture. So yeah, the pictures are slightly blurred, but hopefully you can still make them out. That there's Vince playing bass guitar, and then Debbie with Wings of Pegasus hoodie on. So hopefully you guys can see that relatively clearly enough. Right, let's try and get everything back to normal. Let me see if we can get rid of that. And now we're back to the main screen, which is fine and great. So we are going to be jumping into Fill Jam number 59, because we have hit the Fill Jam for tonight. That, I should say, the likes goal to have the Fill Jam for tonight, which is set at 370. So again, thank you guys for doing that. Let's now look over to this screen, because I do have the messages here, and there was there something over. Oh, this is another thing I didn't show you earlier on the screen, but I've got 3 tabs on one of the screens where all of the buttons are. So it means that I can go into Patreon and look at the requests for the cover video, all that kind of stuff. So it means that technically, I don't know how many I have. Is it 10 windows open? So 13 in all, because I've got a few tabs on this particular window. So going over there, because I remember Joe did a post or comment before the live stream, and it says, Phil Jam number 59, which, yes, I was correct to change it earlier. And it says, Strat clean, some crybaby. So that's just kind of Joe giving me a bit of an idea of what might work with the backing track. So yes, right, let's go back to there. Let's go back over here. Let's click on that, which will open up an advert. So let's stop and let that play through. And it's one of the adverts that I can't skip, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to watch this advert for... looks like South Park. So obviously something is happening with South Park. And yeah, there was something actually on South Park that hit the news here. And it was the Worldwide Privacy Tour. That had obviously Harry and Meghan. It wasn't actually them, I should say that. But it was obviously based on them, this particular episode, which I haven't seen. All I've seen is the things that they showed on YouTube, and the song was really it was so good, so well put together. I mean, the whole thing was quite funny because it really did, I think, give a voice to what people were thinking about. And it's something that I've said in the past about, if you want privacy, don't go on TV, don't go on, don't do interviews, don't be in magazines. So yeah, the Worldwide Privacy Tour. And the problem is, I can't help but, go, na 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 na. But obviously that's like copyright infringement, because it wasn't. They didn't use the Beatles song. They did a version of the song that was really similar. But is really well done. But anyway, let's get into this because the advert has now finished, which is good. It wasn't actually that long. I just wanted to talk about that particular funny South Park thing that I saw. Right, so we are going to unmute it for a start. Going to see if that works right now. Ooh. I'm not sure whether I'm going to be able to... I mean, in terms of a tone, that's quite clean. So clean, check. But my Crybaby, the wah-wah for my amp, I've got a Crybaby pedal, wah-wah pedal, but sadly the Crybaby makes loads of noise. I get loads of interference with it. So when I use the pedal with my amp, it doesn't cause any interference. The only problem is that it takes so much weight to change it into a wah-wah, so I might even have to stand up in order to change it kind of as we go through. So yeah, brace yourselves for that. I try not to fall over if I can actually click it on and click it off. I might not even be able to do it, so we could play through this. It's 6 minutes and 50 seconds, and this is funk, soul, guitar backing track, Blues Jam in D, and this is coming from Jam Tracks channel. Jam Tracks channel, all one word, if you guys want to check it out yourself. So, as for the levels, who knows, but it should come across okay, hopefully, because it's a bit cleaner. But let's have a listen. And obviously, I've got to try and suss this out. Oh! Zoom out. Have to think about it there for a second. Ready for some funky soul. a little bit out of tune. Again, haven't checked my tuning. I haven't turned on the microphone, ladies and gentlemen. So, thank you for letting me know that you couldn't hear the guitar because I haven't turned it on yet. Right. We'll go back to the beginning and we'll play through. Let me know if you can hear it now. So, backing track. Okay, we're going. Back. While we get a breakdown, let me see if I can do this wah-wah pedal. Gonna have to stand up. Here. Okay. I did it. Okay, we're still in kind of a breakdown here, so. long. Oh, I can't even see. Can't see. There wasn't an ending, so we had to put one on. And the ending didn't even resolve. They didn't even go to the D to finish. They just left us hanging. But there you go. That was the Fill Jam for tonight. And thankfully, I was looking at the comment section to see that I hadn't even turned on the mic. So hopefully we'll just kind of skip over that first section, but that was funk, soul, guitar, backing track, blues jam in D from Jam Tracks channel. So you guys can check that out if you want to have a jam along to it yourselves. But yeah, thank you Joe for sending me the tracks, and yeah, that was Fill Jam number 59. Bit of a clean tone and a bit of wah-wah. It's a shame that, if I weighed a bit more, then I wouldn't have to put so much effort into trying to turn on this wah-wah pedal. But there it is. Right, we are going to keep things as we normally do on the channel with tomorrow night's video and live streaming on Tuesday night as well. Same time, same place, 11 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time. That's where I will be. If you guys can join me, that would be great. So yeah, we're going to be calling it to a close now. Thank you for tuning in, for hitting that thumbs up as well, but just subscribing, watching the channel, leaving a comment or two. It is very much appreciated. And as I always say, try to stay as safe and as sane as possible in this crazy world in which we live. But I will catch you guys at the next one. Rock!